Hello everyone, just a brief salute from my side. I'm still here in the Caribbean of Colombia, uh, way up in the Selva, and I have prepared my program that I offer now for the aware traveler who wishes to get to know Colombia deeply with all its beauty regarding nature, different cultures of the indigenous, different maestros who live here, unknown from the world, without any ego, without claiming that they are, but they certainly are. And I receive training from one of them at the moment, and our travel will bring us here as well. So, in case you are willing to share, I offer this now, just an info from my side. You will support me with energy. You will support the ones we encounter with your energy of the old world, and you receive happiness, connection to nature, healthy food, and healing without any stress, without any obligation. That's what I offer. So when we are in this process, very disconnected up in the mountains or in the selva, in the rainforest over here, we got a lot of insight, and I just want to share one point. We are constantly speaking about the importance of shadow work, and it's not because we are so dark and need justification for our being. That's absolutely not the case. It's more because we did it ourselves and redeemed our light, released our light from that, and brought the inner balance out of our karma. And the karma is, as I shared to you, from soul level, but also from the ancestral line of your mother and your father, of my mother and my father. So this is what we inherit to work through. When we have ancestral karma from two different cultures, it's certainly more to work through. When we are mixed with more cultures in close proximity, even more. So, but this is not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. It is just inner work that has to be done without fear and has to be faced. And now I wish to share some insight that came in my favorite place, in my temporary bathtub, as I call it, a very, very lovely fountain, a very lovely waterfall with a true bathtub that was created, that was carved into the stone by the water within the years and probably centuries. I was lying in there and questioning myself about my desires, about my needs, my adhesion to the old in a certain way, that I would have the feeling of lack and the necessity of money. So a lot of you, and I agree on a certain point, are still talking about the necessity to earn money in this society. And this is certainly true, because when we want to buy food and when we want to move, we need energy. But our divine gifts are there to be shared, and I establish this at the moment for myself, trying to find a balance that is fair, that does not exclude anyone who has few at this time, but who may be the new Christ at the horizon. We never know. And so I was in my dialogue questioning all that, and questioning especially all the yogis and people of the false light like Deepak Chopra and Sadhguru, who make millions with their gifting, and who are certainly, from my understanding, from my personal understanding, not of the light, because they serve the agenda, right? So they sold their soul, and by that they destroyed very, very precious work their soul has done several lifetimes in advance and before in different incarnations. So why I'm bringing this up, I think we need to find a consent that is accessible for everyone, that is not excluding anyone, but that also contributes to the self in the way, in the meaning of, you can just pour from a full cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. This is abundance. Abundance is so much more, to be honest. Abundance is unconditional love that you share with people. It is the nature itself when we are going there, and it feeds us. And it is this as well, to be able to move and realize our soul plan. And to realize that, I need to learn, certainly, because I have many things that I am good at, like all of you as well, but we don't see anything for that when we help. And I wish to address your own consciousness, that you are coming out of this feeling of lack, that you stop saying, I cannot afford this, I cannot afford this, so I don't do it. Do it and find a way how you can afford it. That's the way. That's one message of my video today, a very important one. Find a way how you can be of service to others, to gain your financial abundance, to be able to form and co-create in a way that you contribute in your abundance to the other eye that helps you on your path. This is one message that's very important. The next one is, from the shadow work, I got the information now in an integrated way that our ego that forms once we are coming here, we are vulnerable, we are children, we are soft, we don't have an ego, we are just there as who we came to be. And we all know that, we all can remember that when we have done our inner work to a certain extent, the healing of the inner child, we could not, especially the indigos, and that's more our task now, we could not sustain this high vibing energy, this vulnerability, this unconditional love and softness in the density we experience in our daily reality in the external. So that's why we formed an ego. But maybe, and this is in the second message now, this ego was exactly the lessons our soul needed to learn. So when we have this ego, we carry this ego brings us into situations that are hurtful, that are painful, that are our darkness as well. When we live that, when we are not awake, so to say. But when we come back to our essence, when we come back to our gifting, when we come back to source consciousness, we can revisit our ego. We have to deprogram this, we have to let go of it in a very soft and humble way, while we embrace it and take it as a given part of ourselves, and don't fight it. Our soul learns the lesson, and this is not possible without the darkness. It's not possible without the ego created. So this is the second point I would like to make today. Our ego can be very valuable, and we will never get rid of it. And this is good like it is. It is just the order. I shared it in May or June within the channel. You can find my entry further up. I wrote on this topic from a different perspective. I said so much as when we obtain our wounds, then we have the learning that we wish to integrate, and this comes with our soul plan. So to know our soul plan is another very important point. This is the third one I wish to share today. Know why you are here. Know why you are here. And it's certainly not that you say, oh, I'm a Leo, for that I have my ego, I am like I am, deal with it. That's not the case. From my understanding, we come with a certain zodiac in the Western theosophy. We come with a certain imprint of the Mayan calendar, of the Taoistic and Chinese mythology. You know what I want to express. We come with these characteristics as a soul into our body as a human being, and we can of course say in this inverted society, that's how we are, deal with it. That's our ego again. But we can also see it as the exact opposite of what we wish to learn. So we get the hardship due to our beingness to exactly learn these lessons when we re-invert who we actually are. I understood this with the tarot. I'm a Sagittarius, we are extroverts, we are narcissists sometimes when we don't have control about our ego, when we don't want to see it, when we are doing the bypassing, and we are fine with that, you know. But actually, I'm not fine with that anymore. I don't want to be like that. So I looked at the tarot, and the temperance, in German Mäßigung, templanza in Espanol, is my card. So this is a memory that is given to me with my zodiac, who I wish to be when I have these deeds, bringing these deeds into the form of my beingness. It's very, very important to understand, and that, like that, the ego works as well. When we obtain an ego, and this is certainly not our fault, when we are born into this society, we obtain a persona, we obtain an ego that is not this healthy ego to say no when it's appropriate. It's the ego that we live as a mask. And we get this to exactly obtain this lesson. Think about that, feel about that, and I'm very happy if you share your thoughts, if you share your feelings on topic. And I hope you're all good, and I wish you a very, very good night from here, from the Caribbean, Colombia. Have a good time. Goodbye, over and out.